We had quite a few injuries.
Yes, we do, son.
Amon
And
Ra,
bye weeks are coming at perfect time for some
yep,
of these teams, dude.
yep. So Amon Ra St. Brown is kind of banged up. Dan Campbell has been non-committal on if Amon Ra will play. If I was a betting man, which I am, I would say that Amon Ra will more than likely play. I would say there's a pretty darn good chance.
You know what? I thought that too until I started reading this morning, dude. And they're just being real squirrely about the information they're putting out. And I feel like they're trying to set us up for, I don't know. It could be, I hope he's not hurt worse than they're saying, but the Jameson Williams,
dude, how about that? So when he first got in trouble, Jameson Williams for the Lions.
So keep an eye on him, boys.
So he should already be on your team. You should have listened to Big Hole last week and picked him up. Originally, they were talking about 8 games, right? He ended up getting 6 games, and then they revised the league's gambling policy. Funny that. But they revised the league's gambling policy, and he's eligible to come back now. He is in practice. He is practicing today. He's fully healthy. He's got to get in game shape. He is going to be a playmaker, I believe. I believe all those targets that what's his name? Is it Josh Reynolds, right?
Yeah,
all those
Josh
targets
Reynolds.
that Josh Reynolds and Marvin Jones Jr. are getting that aren't Amon-Ra
and
St.
Khalif
Brown,
Raymond, and
those are going to go to Jameson Williams. And I always believe that Jameson Williams was the best player, the best wide receiver in that draft. He tore his ACL in the championship game.
Yeah.
Right? Playing for Alabama.
I agree with you.
He's a stud, and the upside is huge, especially if all you're going to do is sit on him, right? Once he starts playing his way into your lineup, you put him in, and he's going to be so good.
Oh, look at that's going to do to the Lions, man. With the Sun God, Jameson Williams, and Sam Laporta, and that defense,
and Gibbs catching the ball out of the backfield, maybe Gibbs.
And Goff's playing better. It's
Goff's playing really good.
The Lions are going to be. I never thought I'd say it. This may be the Jameson Williams could be the missing link that's going to really propel them up to that next level. He's that kind of player.
Yep, he totally is. He could take over a game so fast, so quick.
First NFL play that he played was a touchdown.
Yep. Another wide receiver that a lot of us have been banking on, Mike Williams, left the Saints debacle with a hamstring injury. The good part about it is Tampa Bay has a bye this week. So hopefully Evans can just rest and he'll get back. I still think he's going to be traded. One other injury, a couple for the Steelers. Pat Freiermuth is going to be out 2 to 3 weeks with a hammy. And Kenny Pickett, they're saying he might not miss any time. Bucky, how do you feel about Kenny Pickett? Is it Trubisky time again? Is he still in Pittsburgh? He is, right?
Yeah, he is. That's who's going to come in. So Pickett's been playing so bad. And I mean, you can blame that on a lot of things. I lay that in Canada's lap, not this country, but you've heard me bitching about him.
Yes, boy.
You got to establish the run before that quarterback has a chance, and they still aren't doing that.
No. And I still think it should be. Look, man, if you're the Eagles, I understand you want to be cool to Gainwell, and Gainwell's your boy, and he stuck around, right? It's obvious to anybody that watched DeAndre Swift is way more talented, way more explosive than Kenneth Gainwell. Okay. But that's what they're doing now. In this situation in Pittsburgh, you almost have to have a 50-50 split with Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. They are together. They're a complete back. And Jaylen Warren has definitely looked more explosive, and he's had more.
I'm telling you, did you watch the game? Najee was running over people. He looked like I'm like, okay, there he is.
But he's just not very fast. He's not going to break any. The whole deal with Najee, the reason why he was so good and so much of a
strong, powerful runner.
Yeah, strong, powerful runner. But his rookie year, man, they just fed him. They just fed him the ball. And it was all about how many opportunities he got. That's why, because if you looked at his yard per rush and all that stuff, it was really low. But I think Pittsburgh has a lot. I mean, now with Freiermuth and Kenny Pickett down, Pittsburgh, they're going to have to really do some rethinking. They really are.
The defense is really erratic too. It's like
so with Cleveland, the Chargers, the Seahawks, and the Bucks all being on bye this week, that's some pretty big fantasy stuff right there. That's Godwin, that's Evans, that's DK, that's Lockett, that's Geno, that's Kenneth Walker III, that's Herbert, who, thank goodness, that broken finger was only on his non-throwing hand.
But thank goodness they got the bye this week because him and Eckler can get fully healthy.
That's right.
That's
right.
Cleveland's on the bye. Deshaun Watson's banged up. So is
Yep.
Amari Cooper hasn't been 100%.
Yep.
They can heal up. Then you got Seattle, of course, Geno Smith, that tackle we mentioned earlier. He's got time to heal up. And also Tampa Bay with Mike Evans. So there's a lot of their big playmakers are now going to have a week to get healthy. That's good for those teams.
So, but give me about 2 or 3 players that should already be on your roster that maybe haven't broken into the starting lineup that you could slide in as bye week fills this week.
Josh Dobbs.
Okay. Yep.
Josh Number Dobbs. 1.
Yep.
With Dude, I mean, Daniel Jones, pull him immediately and slide him in.
Dude.
In my opinion, I mean, I'm giving you somebody that's actually playing that you could slide Dobbs in for. I mean,
what is wrong with Daniel Jones?
I don't know what's wrong with that team.
I don't understand.
Let me just say, you got to give him a little bit of a break again. And I hate to keep saying it, dude. He looks lost on the sideline, number one. He looks like Mark Bulger. He always had a confused look on his face. Never any energy. He's never got any fire to him. I want Jeff Garcia, somebody like that, that's got some energy that brings to the table. And he's just kind of like, looks lost. He just looks absolutely lost. But, he's got what number one receiver does he have? Like Wan'Dale Robinson, you probably should pick up just because he's going to end up by defunct sliding into the number one wide receiver slot. So there is somebody else that you could slide in if you've got Mike Evans or you've got Amari Cooper and you're a little bit light in the wide receiver department, don't you think? I mean,
I think
targets,
so. Yep, I totally do.
I mean, that's just, we're lowballing it, but that's somebody. But to answer your question, and Saquon's hurt. I mean, every year the guy never has his weapons.
Nope.
I mean,
never.
Sterling Shepard at the end of the year was his number one. I mean,
and let's not forget, Brian Daboll was coach of the year last year. He was. I mean, he did a great job. The Giants have regressed to the point of where it's like, not very good at all. I need to ask you a question. We have Joe Burrow. We have Geno Smith. We have Sam Howell. Obviously, Geno Smith is on a bye this week, so we have to start Sam Howell. Burrow has another shit game. Do we have to bench Burrow until he's back to being Burrow, or are the opportunities or the chances of him blowing up exponentially greater than Sam Howell blowing up? Like a blow-up Sam Howell game is not anywhere close to a blow-up Joe Burrow game. So, but at what point do you say, all right, Joe, enough is enough? You got to take a seat.
I don't know, man. That's a toughie. I mean, like for the very reason, he could come in and put it. Sam Howell, we saw what he did 2 weeks ago and just
nothing about
bottomed out.
Nothing.
I don't think even on his worst day, you're going to see Burrow do that, but
I don't know. I don't know. Boy, you shall write about that, but you shall write about that.
Boy, that's a good question. I mean, I think you got to play matchup.
This week it takes care of itself.
Yeah.
Right? Because Geno's
that's
on
what I mean. You play matchup.
Right. So